Hey guys, Jared Wesley here of Live Traders, and it is that time of the week. It is lecture time, and this week's topic, guys, is manage your way to maximum profits, okay? There's a lot of different ways you can manage trades, manage stocks, etc., and so forth, but I think a lot of you guys, one of the biggest issues that you're having is you're constantly changing your management. Am I right? I mean, let's be frank here. You have a bad month, you're like, oh, that management strategy doesn't work anymore. You need to stop looking at your management approach in 1 week or even monthly periods. You need to do it in minimum quarterly periods, 3 to 6 months. So we're going to talk about that today, and we're also going to talk about kind of matching your personality style to the right type of management so that you're not trying or doing something that isn't conducive to success for your personality style. Guys, there's lots of money to be made in the stock market. I mean, lots and lots of money. The problem is you need to stop putting yourself into one cookie cutter mold. We're all different. We all have different personalities. What's the good news to that? There's lots of different ways to manage. There's not one right way and one wrong way. There might be wrong ways for you, but those wrong ways for you might be the right way for somebody else. So we're going to talk a lot about that today, how to simplify that approach with regard to management and try to learn yourself, track your trades, do all of those things so that you can maximize your potential and minimize your weaknesses on top of it. It's a very, very powerful topic because I think a lot of you, like I said, are scattered all over the place. You're changing way too frequently. All right, so maximize your profits, guys, by learning better trade management. If you like these videos, please click that like button. Do me a favor, hammer that subscribe button. I am Jared Wesley of Live Traders. Let's get to it. This week's lecture topic, manage your way to maximum profits. And I thought this would be a great topic today because of watching Unmo over the past week, myself changing my management strategy here recently. So it's not just about management. I want to be very clear. This lecture is not solely based on management. There's a couple other topics in here that will hopefully help you guys be better traders because I think many of you are missing a key ingredient. And sometimes we're plateauing or we're so close and we're like, I'm just so close. I'm like an inch away from being great. And sometimes that inch is more like a mile because it's a key ingredient. An ingredient that might be simple, but is something so profound that it's been challenging for you to make the change or correct the issue. So I think it's going to be a powerful lecture today. At least I hope it will be. But before we get into that, first, let's do when will the insanity stop? And no, it's not going to stop. And today's is just as egregious as last week's. I mean, some of these are heart-wrenching, heartbreaking. Other ones are just plain dumb. This one goes into the just plain dumb category. It's sad. It's just plain dumb, though. Okay, and here it is. Oh, man. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. I'm very down and depressed. I lost $500,000. I need someone to talk to. You need more than someone to talk to. Okay, you need a padded safe space for all you Gen Z millennials out there. All right? Hey guys, last week I lost $500,000 on hundreds of $40 strike calls for CCIV. It tanked after hours, and ever since the loss, I'm not the same. I want to hear some stories and feel like I can come back. I only have $20,000 left. Please comment if you're okay with me talking to you. Thanks for listening. $500,000 and you have 20 grand left? Now, I don't know this person. I don't know their position in life. But obviously this was a lot of money because they only have 20 grand left. They're very depressed. They're very down. They want to talk to somebody over it. We sit here and go, wow, that's sad. Wow, wow, wow. Guys, this is every week. Every week. One more time. Say it together. Every week. And I'm only highlighting one person. Do you know how many of these stories I have in my files? Lots of them. Hundreds of them. This is just a grain of sand in the beach to the market. That's the issue at hand. You're nothing to the market. You're 480,000 because you have 20 grand left. The market laughs at it, spits it out, and goes, ha ha. But to you, your world has just ended, right? Seriously, your whole world is just caved in on you, and everyone else is like, oh man, that's a sad story, right? Nick's like, it's just brutal. But Nick's scanning for trades right now, okay? Kirk says divorce now. Kirk's getting ready to go get some coffee. This person, though, who lost 500 grand, their world is crushed. It is what it is. The point simply is manage your money, man. Be smart about your money, because I don't know this person's position, but I'm going to guess making that $480,000 back with 20 grand is not going to happen. And if it does, it's going to take many, 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 many years. Maybe this person says, screw it, I only have 20 grand left. I'm just going to YOLO it at this point. Okay? Exactly, Nick. You're back to scanning for your trade. And you're like, I'm sorry. That's a sad story. What's for dinner? Here, hold my beer. But to this person, their life is ruined for a while. Don't put yourself in that position. Guys, why am I doing this? Why do I spend so much time on this every week? Because we all have that suicidal tendency. And I'm not talking about suicide. I'm talking about your trading account, trading suicide. Trust me, we do. Admit it, right? We all have that inkling, that 1%, that 0.1% of suicidal trading tendencies. What is that tendency? Gosh, this stock's right at freaking support. It's about to stop me out, but it can't go much lower. It's down 6 bars in a row, and it's right at support. I'm just going to give it another 20 cents. I know I'll lose 1.2 R on it, but I know it's going to bounce there, and then it goes 1.3, and then 1.5, and then 2, and then 3, and all of a sudden, you're bag holding. And that little tiny thing that didn't sound so bad, minus 1.2, becomes minus 22. And yes, some of those are extremes, but if they didn't happen, I wouldn't be able to feature someone every single week on this. So yes, we all have this little tendency deep down inside. It's don't give in to it, is what I'm trying to say. Don't give in to that tendency. It's a backbreaker, okay? So, hope you learned your lesson, this particular person. I hope you guys learned from this person. So, the market just is. So stop making excuses. All right, we're going to talk about management. We're going to talk about a lot of topics today, okay? And there it is, Johnny boy. Yeah, I did that yesterday. It cost me $1,000. Forget the money. I was more upset how poorly I traded. Exactly. But your 1,000 to someone else, Johnny, is 10,000 or 100,000 because maybe they didn't get out and they held overnight. And then, of course, it's the 1 out of 100, but that stock gaps against them the next day. And now they're really bag holding and they don't know what to do. And then they go on Twitter, Reddit, whatever, and they ask for advice. And that's not the place you want to be asking for advice. Guys, the sooner you understand, appreciate, and respect that the market doesn't care about you, the sooner you'll be profitable. And I've said this in professional trading strategies. You should love the fact that the market doesn't care about you. It should be one of the greatest things about this business. I know sometimes you feel like you've been stepped on and used and abused, but that's you. That's not the market. That's just you. And it's okay. It happens to all of us. But love the fact that the market doesn't care about you because you don't want the market to take an interest in you. All right? Just like your boss hanging over your shoulder. You don't want that, okay? So we're going to talk a little bit about management. We're going to talk a little bit about, say, larger target management, scalp management. We're going to talk about the basics of success in this business. So this is a slide I haven't shown in quite a while, okay? I haven't. Experts are made, not born, and successful trading is not luck, okay? There's a reason that certain traders make money every year and certain traders lose money every year, okay? Expertise success is a product of purposeful training. It's not talent or giftedness, period. That's it, okay? We're not talking about being the Roger Federer of tennis or the Michael Jordan of basketball or whatever. We're talking about making money. There will always be a segment of, quote, special people that are just like Tom Brady. They've been gifted with the looks, with the talent, with the nice personality, with the money, with the wife, with the whatever. They've been gifted. It's not that they haven't worked for it, but they've worked and they've had that special talent. But for 99% of the other people, this is just hard work. There's no talent here. There's no giftedness here. It's just hard work. You don't need to have an IQ higher than Forrest Gump to be a good trader. Yes, you heard me. You don't need a special IQ to be a great trader. You just don't, okay? Most experts practice only 2 hours a day, but it's an intense 2 hours with clear purpose and direction. And when you think about that, It's sports at least. It's a general truism. Now, I'm not saying that some people don't practice more. They surely do. Okay? But it's a general truism. Okay? If we analyze the development of superb performers, we see that in almost every case, the success of their entire career was dependent upon the quality of their practicing, which was the product of supervision by their teacher, the making of an expert. That is a book, if you haven't read it, that studies successful people and why they're successful. Okay? What is it that makes those people different? It's not talent. It's not giftedness. And Sam Snead says it well. For those of you that are younger, that's a golfer. Okay? It's only human nature to want to practice what you can already do well, since it's a heck of a lot less work and a heck of a lot more fun. Isn't this true in trading? It's like it's really easy to fill out that tracking spreadsheet when you've had a good day. You're like, yeah, I made 4R today. Can't wait to fill out that spreadsheet. See that green line on my P&L go up, 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 up. Day you have a 4R loss, though, you're like, yeah, I think I'm going to go for a jog. I think I'm going to, come back, answer a couple emails. Oh, you know what? I haven't talked to my brother in a while. I think I'll give him a call. And all of a sudden, it's 8 o'clock at night, and you're like, all right. But you know what? I don't want to be upset before I go to bed, so I'll just save it for tomorrow. The people that know. How can I give that little analogy story? Because I've done it before. You have a really bad day, maybe the worst day of the week or the month or the year, and you're like, I ain't filling out that sheet. That's nasty. I want to do everything but avoid the acceptance of that loss today. Well, it's the acceptance of that loss that's going to help you make necessary change. And if you can't accept that loss, you won't make the change and you won't be successful. Again, that's not a product of talent or giftedness. That's just a product of getting what needs to be done. Okay? Accepting it. Saying, I need to be better. And then do what Sam Snead said. Practice the stuff that's not fun. There's a reason you weren't that good today or this month or this year or whatever it is. You need to be better. Okay? So be better. All right? Think about that. It's so easy to only do stuff when things go well. But you're going to make your money. Remember we talked about this, guys? Pilots don't make their money when everything goes well. They don't go in the simulator to practice sunny days. They go in the flight simulator to practice all the emergency events that happen so that they can practice in a simulator without dying. Well, in the market, you're going to practice in real time. Okay? So when you look at that, being a great trader, guys, this is not something that is magical. It's not something that's elusive to everybody. It's something that you can do if you follow the process, okay? And the good news is there's lots of ways to get that done. And that leads us to it's all about management. There's no holy grail. It just doesn't exist, okay? Think about it. Udmal's a great trader. He's been successful. Let's be honest for a moment. How many times has he changed his management plan this year? 3, 4? He's still messing with it a little bit. 2R all or nothing was good, then he did 3R all or nothing, and now he's on some profit max. But no matter what management he uses, he finds a way to make money. Think about what I just said. No matter what management he uses, he finds a way to make money. Some make a little more, some make a little less, but he's a good enough trader with enough discipline that when he commits to a management, he does it. Do you? Or do you just half-ass it? Okay? So there's more than one way to successfully trade, one way to successfully manage. For me, this is when I say I was taught pivots are the only way to make really good money. Like if you want to be a profit max trader, pivots. Well, that's not wrong. There are just other ways to go about it. I was also taught that small targets are for novices. Really? Well, making money is the only thing that we're interested in. So you can call me a professional, you can call me a novice, but if you make money, that's all that matters. Okay? So the key here is to know yourself. Focus on what works for you. Note it's in capital, it's underlined, and it's in bold, and it's in a different color. For you. Not for me, not for Unmal, not for Eric, not for Hunter, not for Braden, not for Hugh, not for Michael, not for Grant. For you. Whoever you are out there that's listening. Don't let others push you into a singular mold. Be flexible. Understand your expectation before you decide. Meaning, know thyself. Don't go out there and yeah, I'm going to do 10 RL or nothing. But you know you have no business doing 10 RL or nothing. You're not there yet. You don't have the patience for it. Know thyself. Okay? So here's an example. Right? You look at this and you go, wow, there's a pullback buy setup. Okay? Pullback buy setup, bottoming tail, rising moving average, 50% retracement from top all the way to the bottom. You buy it right here. You add here, you add here. Do you? Do you? You buy here, add here, raise stop here, raise stop here, raise stop here, sell over here, make a bunch of money. Do you? It's all about pivots, right? Well, if you're a profit max trader who is patient and has the mental fortitude to sit in a trade for 4 hours, because, well, after the fact, it looks so easy. They're like, well, duh. We talked about this yesterday with PAGS. If you look at the 60-minute chart of PAGS, it's straight up. If you were actually in PAGS yesterday, it was a little bit different, wasn't it? It was all over overlapping slop for about the first hour. So if you were in PAGS, you looked like you were going to make money, then you looked like you were going to stop out, then you looked like you were going to make money, then you looked like you're going to... And you did this back and forth, this she loves me not thing for about an hour. And then finally PAGS started to trend in a direction. But that hour was dicey. Hero to zero, zero to hero, and back and forth. Well, this looks great, doesn't it? There's nothing wrong with getting out on those 3 green bars. You heard what I just said. There's nothing wrong with getting out on those 3 green bars. Not a patient trader. The longer I'm in a trade, the more mistakes I make. I always sell too soon. Okay? Am I doomed for trading failure? Maybe. Maybe not. But it ain't going to be about management. I can tell you that. What I'm saying to you is, if you're not a pivot trader, a pivot manager, okay, there are other ways to make money in this business, okay? Now, this is one way, okay? This is one way. $14,055.43. Isn't that annoying, Braden? 2 pennies again, right? Isn't that... It is a bit annoying on GRWG. Anyway, this is one way. And Unmall did an unbelievable job. He made $14,000. I don't know, it was yesterday or the day before. And you sit there and look how he did it. Look at SOFI. I mean, granted, some of these are one lot right there, like 141, 141, 141, 142, right there. My point is, look how many exits on these trades. But the beauty is, maybe it was Monday, right? The beauty of it is, he has a built-in trade manager that does this for him, right? So he's not actually getting out 3 different exits on 5 different trades. He just sets it and forgets it, okay? And that's the beauty of it. And he is able to watch a trade go almost to target, not quite to target, pull all the way back, and then bounce. He's able to do that. Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up, okay, because that's a personality right there. And that may or may not be your personality. That's his personality. So what has he done? He's found an approach, a management style that he's able to do, confident in doing, and makes him money. Will this work for you? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know who you are, okay? But this is one example. Now, what I don't want to do is hype you up and go, oh, $14,000. Well, I'm going to call Unmall right now. In fact, Unmall, your inbox is blown up. Unmall at livetraders.com. Boom, 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 boom. They want $14,000 every day too. But maybe they're not capable of profit max. Maybe they are. Maybe they're a better manager than Unmall. Who knows? But you need to figure that out, okay? And that's another thing, okay, about Unmall style too. What am I about to show you next? Something we saw last week. This is a $14,000 day, which is fantastic. Here's a $21,000 month. Now, what am I getting at here? What's the point of showing you this? That's a $14,000 day and a $21,000 month. What I'm showing you here is, no matter what the style you choose is, it will have ups and downs. This month is likely, almost definitely going to be better than last month. Hell, you just got 14 grand in one day, and the day after, I think he made another 5. He made basically in 2 days what he made in the entire previous month. No matter the management, it will have ebbs and flows, ups and downs, good months, bad months, sideways, mediocre months. Now, are there management strategies out there that have less of a swing, right? Less, or I should say the highs and lows are narrower. Yes, of course. Right? If you do 3R all or nothing, you're going to have 30R months and you're going to have minus 5R months sometimes. There's a massive swing there. If you're doing scalping 1R targets, you're not going to have any 30R months. You're going to have a lot of 5 to 10R months, a lot of them, but almost never a minus 5R month. And you can't because you're not having 30R months. Do you see where I'm going with this? So I've done this. I've broken this down 2 ways. Okay. Here's an example of scalping, right? Old example, but here's an example of scalping. Here's a buy setup at support, rising moving average. This is get in, get out, move on. All right. This is a 1-2R type scalp. This was actually a little more than 2R. All right. You take the buy setup, but here's the thing. The exit was 244.35. The stock went to 247.50. But I didn't catch any of that. I got in and out in 5 minutes. Someone else doing profit max would probably sell some on the wide range bars, add some on the ascending triangle, right? The bull triangle right here, right at 245.50, raise their stop to 243.50 or 244, and then perhaps get out on another pullback later in the day when this thing goes above 248. There are 2 completely separate approaches, and in this particular case, they both work. But sometimes you're going to have a stock that pops up and then pulls all the way back and does nothing. What's the difference here? The difference is expectation. You have to know that if you're profit maxing, where you're shooting for 5R, 10R, you're going to give back some profits. It's just part of the game, right? You also have to know that if you scalp, you can't take big losses. That's part of your game. You're scalping 1R targets. You can't take 1R losses. You can, you just can't take very many of them. If you're doing 5R targets, you would fully expect to take a grip load of 1R losses because you're going to be up 2, 3R a lot of the time, and it's going to come back against you and not quite hit 5R. I'm using 2 extremes, but you understand that there's lots of ways to manage, okay? But you got to know the expectation. Here's another example, 3-bar play. Decent gap up on this, over a red bar, over multiple pivots, room to go higher, wide range green bar, narrow range red bar. Triggers, almost gets dicey right there. So for a scalper, you're getting pretty nervous right there. It triggers you in at 36.50, pulls back, gets really close to your stop right after the trigger, and then rips higher. But here's the thing. I'm out at 36.86, basically right there. I'm out in 5 minutes. Somebody else wrote it to 37.20. Now, 37.20 doesn't seem like much, but when it's an 18-cent stop loss, an extra 35 cents is almost an extra 2R. So I got 2R. You could have gotten 4. But it would have taken you another 2 hours to do it, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But where do you fall in this spectrum? Maybe you fall here and you scalp 1 or 2R out of a trade. Or maybe you fall over here. And this was a trade yesterday on SoFi where you buy the pullbacks, which was, by the way, a really tremendous entry, okay? The previous day's daily chart was nice. I was honestly quite surprised by the follow-through on day 2 because usually after a day like that, they do this. See this day here is pretty, bottoming tail, narrow range. But anyway, what a great entry. I mean, a truly tremendous entry on this, okay? And he didn't get out on this pullback. He sold some, pulled back, and just rode this thing out. And ended up getting, I think it went over $19, and he ended up getting over $3,000 on this, right? Over $3,000. Selling a third here, a third there. But would it have been okay, right? Would it have been okay to buy this triple bottom at 18 with a tighter stop and just sell at the top at 18.30? Sure. You could have given this thing a 30-cent stop loss. You could have got in at 18. You could have used 17.80. Okay, and just pop, sell it right at overhead supply. And I think Unmall sold some of his position there, but he left most of his position for a larger move and ended up getting 3R. Okay, but you could have scalped this. Same pattern, same entry, slightly different stop, different result. There's nothing wrong with either one of those approaches. The difference is knowing your expectation. Unmall knows that with his management, it's okay to take 1R stop outs because he's going to get 3 and 4R targets. Right? Got 3R on MRNA today. Got 3R on SoFi yesterday. The PAGS you got a couple R from yesterday. He's got an $8,000 P&L yesterday. On top of the $14,000 P&L the day before, $22,000 in 2 days. That's more than he made the previous month. Right now, his management strategy is cranking. It's kicking ass and taking names. It'll go through a down stretch. Everything does. His wins are bigger, his losses are bigger. Your wins might be smaller, but so will your losses. Okay? But it goes back to what are you capable of? Right? What are you capable of? Here's another example. PAGS. Climactic on the daily chart. All right? Same day, yesterday. Okay? Takes the buy setup. Chops, finally comes out with a wide range green bar and then starts to go higher. And I think this ended, I want to say $37 or $38. I want to say it ended, even higher perhaps. I don't know. So again, what's your goal when you look at your management approach? This is a swing trade. You saw this chart, I think, a week ago. Wide range green bar takes out the prior pivot, takes out this prior pivot. You get a 4-bar play right there. This is a swing trade with a $1.50 stop. Would it have been okay to get out of $30 right there? 2 days later, you're up 2-1. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. But it did go to 50. It took, 3 months, something like that. But it went to 50. Could have made a $20 move, $23 move. I mean, gosh, that's 15-1, something like that. But you had to sit through pullbacks, pivots, retests, all that stuff. Areas to add, sure. Where do you fall into line? Do you fall into the we're going to get out at $30, $31, make 2R, maybe 3R on the swing trade? Or do you fall into the I am profit maxing this bitch and I am taking this to the moon? Not YOLOing it, not diamond handsing it, managing the chart to the moon because you have the patience, persistence, and perseverance to do it. Or are you like, all right, give me my single, double, and then next. Either one's fine. There's nothing wrong with either approach. Okay? There's nothing wrong with either approach. All right? So it comes down to just knowing yourself. The market's not out to get you. It's not fishing for your shares. It doesn't know you. So if it doesn't know you, how could it be out to get you? All right? Mindfulness, the ability to evaluate what is happening in real time without letting your emotions control your decision making. Work on it. This is part of the Sam Snead thing. This is one of those more challenging things to work on, right? It's a hard one because sometimes we have half of this. We know what's happening in real time. We're aware of our emotions in real time, but we still choose the incorrect action. Well, you're only halfway there, okay? Then there's the people that are not, they're zero the way there, which is you're an emotional wreck, an emotional roller coaster in the middle of a trade. You don't even know what you're thinking. You're just all over the map spaghetti. Well, you're going to need to reel that person in a little bit to have some type of control when you're in the middle of a trade, where it might be set a bracket and walk away. But whatever you need to do to mitigate that, you need to do. And there's other people that can just sit there and stare at a stock and just watch it. Penny against you, 2 pennies against you, 10 pounds. It's about to stop out, stops out. What's for dinner? It doesn't even faze them. That's my plan. I follow it. Next, robotic. Okay? Another one, PPRF. This is one that we all need a refresher on sometimes, including myself. Perfect patterns rarely fail. Why settle for less? You know why. FOMO. Fear of missing that trade. Especially prevalent after you started the day with 1 or 2 losses. right? Down 1R. Got to get my money back. Do you see anything really, really good? No, I don't. But I see something that's okay. Just okay. Yeah, it's just okay. Could I tilt my head and justify an entry? Yes, I probably could. All right, I'm taking it. You sit there and you can't make this stuff up. It's what really happens. And it's most prevalent when you're under duress or stress. You throw the perfect patterns out the window and you're like, I'll just throw spaghetti at the wall and I just hope something sticks. Because then your mind says to you, gosh darn it, I've lost 5 trades in a row. Statistically, the likelihood of me losing a 6th trade is so slim. Well, it might actually be higher than you think because mentally you're having some FOMO and you end up taking a pattern that's just not that good. You ever notice that during losing streaks, you go back and look at your trades and you realize there's definitely some I'd like to have back, right? Due to your past and present actions, you are where you are supposed to be. If you're unhappy with that, then it's up to you to change it. Ouch. Ouch, that's a slap in the face, isn't it? Wait, I'm where I'm supposed to be? You mean it's not Johnny's fault? It's not Susie's fault? It's not the market's fault? It's not my parents' fault? It's not the president's fault? It's not the weather's fault? You mean it's my freaking fault? Fuck that. It ain't my fault. Nobody gets far with that attitude in life. If you're going to play the victim, go work for somebody else. Seriously, you're not prepared and ready for your own business if you're going to play the victim. The buck stops at your desk. You're the boss. Period. There's nothing else past the period. That's it. You are the boss, especially in trading. So how could it be someone else's fault? You chose to take that trade at that moment with those shares at that price point. Accept the responsibility of it. You own it. It's not the market. It's not, oh my gosh, I can't believe Janet Yellen said that. Oh, what did Paulson say? Oh my goodness, why did he have to say it right in the middle of my trade? You think he knows you're in a trade? Didn't think he even cares if he did know? Nope. Let it go. It's not their fault. It's your fault. Okay, this isn't Goodwill Hunting. It's not your fault, Will. It's not your fault. I know. It is your fault. Everything you do in trading is your fault. Other areas of your life, I can't speak to that. But it's always nice to accept responsibility for your actions because it means they're fixable and changeable. If you don't accept responsibility and it's an external person or influence's fault, you can't change it because it's not your fault. Well, that's kind of a problem, isn't it? If you're a victim, something else out there has control over you. That's just not true. So even if it is true, it's never a good approach. So this isn't rocket science, guys. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it, right? I think we all understand the charts are pretty simple. Sure, there's a learning curve, like anything, okay? So how do we do all that? Keep it simple. Focus. You don't waste time because time is money. You're not surfing the internet when you should be scanning. You're not worried about a CEO news conference or what's on MSNBC. You don't care what Jim Cramer says. You don't care that some analyst at Goldman Sachs upgraded or downgraded something. Doesn't matter to you. What are you doing during the hours of, say, 9 a.m. and 11 or noon or whatever your trading time is? What are you doing? Do you have other stuff open? Are you checking your emails? Checking your text messages? It's work time. It's nothing else time. It's work time. Your boss wouldn't appreciate that you're checking your cell phone or checking private messages or emails. Your boss probably wants you being productive because they're paying you to be productive. Well, in trading, you won't get paid if you're not productive. Okay? Discipline. Wait for the best. Won't settle for less. Don't take a trade for the sake of taking it. You only trade quality. Patient and calm. Trade your plan no matter what. Just don't make excuses. Make progress towards your goals. Focused and disciplined. Focused and disciplined. I've said it many times before and I'll say it again. Most folks that enter the trading business have never actually had to manage themselves. I know you think you did because you're going, well, Jared, what are you talking about? I managed a team of 27 people at my last company. I was their supervisor. And someone supervised your ass. You heard me. No one's doing that here. You're all by yourself in a quiet little office, probably in your home, with no one around, right? If a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, did it make a sound? If you messed up and lost money and no one was there to see it, are you going to correct the problem? Focused and disciplined. Focused and disciplined. Focused and disciplined. Every single day you come to work to make money, to get better, to be the best you can be. You're not wasting time. You're efficient. You're focused. You're not taking crap. You're not taking junk. You lay off the high fastball and you only take the pitch that you're good at. It's easy and obvious. Just most people don't do it. So, know yourself. Then decide what you want. The trader who knows himself the best is also the best trader. It is. It's true. Put an outline together on how you're going to achieve it. Get the necessary education and training. Get a trading buddy, an accountability partner, whoever, whatever. Work purposefully. This is very important. It's 2 words. Work purposefully. What are you doing today to be better for tomorrow? You know who used to do that? Jeff Yates used to call me probably 3 days a week and go, "Hey, J-Dub, what are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "What are you doing right now that's going to make you better tomorrow?" I never thought of it like that. He used to call me all the time. What are you doing today that will make you better tomorrow? You're only as good as your worst day. Okay? Be objective, be flexible, reevaluate along the way. Anyone can do this. The people that fail, it's because they didn't do this first one. Know yourself. Trade within it. That's a fact. Okay? Again, IQ-wise, you could be Forrest Gump and do well in this business. In fact, Forrest Gump would probably be the best trader we've ever met. Why? Why'd you put that rifle together so fast? Because you told me to, drill sergeant. Because you told me to. Why'd you let that trade hit 3R? Because my plan told me to. Why'd you stop out? Because my plan told me to. That's it. That's it. And when you do that, and I know some of you in PTS saw this, and I showed it last week, so this is a rehash, but it's to end on a point and, drive the dagger home. And when you do those things, you make 100%. You make 300R a year when you do those things. Okay? When you do those things, guys, you make 276% in your scalp portfolio. You make 98% in your swing portfolio and 34% in your IRA rollover. When you do those things, this is what happens. When you do those things, you make $14,000 in a day. When you do those things, a bad month becomes $21,000. When you do those things. And when you don't, well, you want fries with that? Or yes, sir, no, sir to your boss. Because that's what you're going to be doing. All right, I'm Jared Wesley of Live Traders. We'll get back at it again next week.